much Joe loves the Grom. He got a whole shop space for it. Whoa, watch out for the negative battery terminal, or positive battery terminal.
Gotta gram it up in here.
Hell yeah.
You know, good.
What are you trying to do?
I want a picture of this and be like, first vehicle in the new shop.
Oh. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah. Hell yeah, brother. You gonna burn out of here or what?
No.
Why?
I mean, I'll try.
What?
Apparently there's like high capacity paper towel dispensers, so.
Well, whatever one
those are illegal in California, bro.
whatever one is in the history for ordering is the right one.
It's a removable paper towel.
Why do you need that, Devin?
Removable paper towel, it's illegal.
Why do you need that?
It's more than 10 paper towels in the roll.
That's an assault paper towel roll.
Revolver.
Yeah.
I mean, or we could get one of the old lever actions.
I think we should just muzzle load this every single time we get a towel.
Get a packing around and pack toilet papers down to somebody's butthole. How's it going, Brian?
Hey! That's it, Sam.
Oh. But for why?
It's not 100%. Before I put the heads on, I happened to take a gander at it and saw that one of the loads is starting to get a little weird.
Ooh. It's an older build though, isn't it? Like 2 years. 3 years?
Yeah, it's some tick small NA stock converter cam too, so.
Benefit from the blower cam.
Yeah. But it's like the lobe isn't have like a groove in it yet, but there's an area where it's not smooth and polished looking. It almost feels like a very, very fine grit. Like,
how'd the lifter look?
I don't know. They were all replaced and thrown out already.
Look at all these fittings, man.
Just a pile of 4 fittings.
Yeah, that's
trying to somewhat organize because I'm looking through and I can't find.
like random used things and stuff.
Yeah. Not even used really, just a collection over the years.
We're putting a bigger cam in this thing. Oh yeah? What size cam was in this thing?
Dude, he had me do that was the first job I ever did for him. It was a tick stock converter NA cam.
Really?
It's like a little 219.
Oh geez.
So this car should move the f out then.
Now it's getting like a 230.
She went 9.6. Yeah.
These are nice. And then the boost is getting turned up? Nope.
But we did more fuel system. I kind of want to just do the cam and see what it does.
Yeah.
Now he's got, oh, they're not on it, but he got some front runners.
Yeah.
So he's on a mission to get a 9.4 out of it.
Ooh, spark plug gapper.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric.
Eric, thank you. See how happy Ryan is using this? Hell yeah. Gap's so good.
Just gonna get this gap.
You can call the cab.
still all up everywhere or is it getting pushed through now?
Oh, is there still the charge pipe?
I cleaned it as best I could, but yeah.
It's clearing up.
In the muffler and all kinds of
It's
things.
clearing up a little bit. How's she looking over here?
She's coming along. For the
You have
first
no-
pull, anyways.
You got enough fuel?
Oh, yeah. That it does. Yeah.
That's a lot of powers.
How much did it make?
502.
Well, it's a cam twin turbo set, I think.
Well, but the little baby. I don't know. I wasn't expecting this much, I guess.
It's gonna go up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna go up.
Are we making?
6.5.
Oh my god.
It's doing pretty good for only 6.5 pounds of boost.
Only on wastegate, I think.
Yeah, it's just on wastegate.
What can these engines handle? Stock.
They're pretty strong. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all Gen 4 internals and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we had enough octane, I mean, we made 800 something on a stock.
This is on 91, huh?
Yeah, it's just 91. But yeah, if we had more octane, we'd make a whole heck of a lot more.
Right.
I mean, this will be significantly more fun than it was, so.
Oh yeah.
From stock to this,
very
yeah.
different. Very different.
He made on E before. And it lost no torque. Dude, this can's nice. When you make your E numbers on pump,
Seriously.
only a can change. That's comical how it overlays. Yeah. Wow, 60 something wheel. Dude. I gotta label that. Okay, so blue is pump gas now. Red is E85 before. Green is pump gas before.
Basically just picked up from 4,500 on.
I'm just shocked it didn't lose anything.
What's the specs on this can? Let me see that.
This is a good one. This is a BTR Stage 2 Supercharger.
Oh. 127, 244, 115.
It likes it.
Sounds like I need a supercharged cam.
That's mighty impressive.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
We are ready for the E. Want to tell Devlin?
Yo, Devlin! Negative bear! Hi, Brian. Oh, steering rack things.
I was moving out of the way to get to a bolt. Putting the finishing touches
Yeah?
on the GTO here.
What finishing touches are you doing?
Get the bumper back on. Now that we know couplers aren't popping off or anything on the dyno. Going over it again, just making sure everything's
Nothing
solid.
did pop off on the dyno though,
Yeah,
right?
no, all good. Just always keep them off in case
Just in case.
it pops off and you realize that it's completely by a bumper that's covering everything. You're
Right.
like, oh, cool.
There's a process to all this.
Yes.
Don't just throw half-done things on the dyno.
Yeah. Yeah, bumpers tend to stay off for a reason.
And hoods, depending on the project.
Yeah, and hoods.
Ooh, so factory.
Can't remember. I'm retarded?
I can't remember.
Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, it does
got it.
cover up the fill. I'm like, does it cover up the fill?
Why would it do that? Is weird. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
Is this going back to the customer tonight, or gonna drive around a little more?
Probably not tonight. We'll spend a little more time with it just to make sure it's all good.
Hunky dory.
I talked to the owner Tyler today, and he was asking, well, should we, boost it up? And I said, well, you're about to get a big old kick in the pants with a setup you're not familiar with. I'm gonna keep it here, get used to it. He has as much suspension stuff he's doing to it.
Which is required on these cars,
Yeah.
really.
I was like, let's get your suspension on a tire that's not a 245 Hankook, because I was like, when these turbos go, they're gonna surprise you, and it's gonna get real shit probably. So he's like, okay, yeah, it's a good idea. So we're gonna give it to him as is. That's already a large.
It's a huge power jump
compared to what it was.
I think it baseline. We baseline this car, so I'll have to look that
Yeah,
up.
it
But
was like 360 or
Yeah.
something like that.
it's 200 horsepower difference. So
Yes, significant.
significant, and a much different power band. But everything seems to be going well on it. We replaced the turbos.
Yeah, it's turbos. So with that, I don't know what the issue was 100%. I don't know if one issue caused another issue, two separate issues, but as you can see, we did find this. This is like a timer. It keeps the scavenge pump running for another, I don't know, 30 seconds or so after you key the car off to get all the oil out of the line, so it can just sit there and pull up and then smoke on startup and stuff. Every time I've ever started this car, I always key on, listen for it, make sure, because I'm paranoid about scavenge pumps. Never had an issue. It always starts going, so I'm like, all right, I start it. One thing I noticed after Eddie drove it and you heard the bad noises and there was tons of oil coming out of the exhaust is that the scavenge pump wasn't turning off. You'd leave it keyed off, it'd run, I'd come out like 5 minutes later, it's still running. I was like, that's weird. So I paid attention again when I did put the new turbos on that Here on Speed warranty for Tyler. But it wasn't coming on at all now. I keyed it on, it wasn't coming on. I keyed it on again, it wasn't coming on. I came over here, I checked the fuse, I put it back in, keyed it on, came on. And then it came on a few more times and then it just was dead in the water. It didn't come on at all anymore. I tracked it down to this. I bypassed it just with a...
This is basically the timer switch for the for the scavenge pump.
I just bypassed it in the relay setup, and it's been fine. It's turned on and off with a key, and it's fine. It's not running afterwards. So far, hasn't been an issue. So
I think that's a pretty common thing with like just turbo timers or timer things in general. I've never heard the most reliable things about all those things.
And not like from Here on Speed specifically, but just I've put a few of them on that have this kind of setup with like a little thing that keeps them running afterwards. And I'm pretty sure all of them I've ever messed with have failed, and I've ended up just bypassing them. Even on my Trans Am, I got a...
Do you have a scavenge pump in your Trans Am?
Yeah, I ended up putting a scavenge pump on my Trans Am. I got it to drain back, but anytime I hard brake, it would start to smoke because it was just so not ideal of a drain.
Right.
It bothered me enough that I put a scavenge pump on it.
Right.
And originally I got a harness from a local turbo company that had that built in, and it failed immediately, and I just wired it key on as well.
Wow. Interesting. That is something to note if you're doing the style of a turbo setup or any sort of setup with a scavenge pump.
Scavenge pump setup is
You
gonna.
still need those self-tappers, I'm sorry. Or did you grab?
No, I grabbed some.
Oh.
Any scavenge pump setup is gonna. I mean, it's not ideal. There's just more components to fail. Anytime you add more components, that can fail.
They will fail. Yeah.
Murphy's Law. They will fail.
Exactly.
So I don't know if that was going in and out intermittently while it was being driven, pushing all the oil through. Pretty good idea, it probably was. But regardless, even afterwards, under the car, with the downpipes off, car not running, scavenge pump scavenging, checking function on it, you could hear a obvious vacuum leak through the driver's side turbo. And if you played with the turbine, it would come and go. So something wasn't sealing up as well as it should have been there.
Right.
But Tron took care of that. We got turbos for it pretty quickly. We got them on. Obviously that worked. It's on the dyno. Made power. It's not smoking anymore.
Yeah, I had to clear some initial smoke out of it because there was just a ton of oil in the mufflers.
Some oil in there that
takes a long time.
We had it on end draining for days, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's, from what I understand, it is a fairly new kit that not a lot of people have their hands on yet. So we went into it expecting to have to figure some things out. The customer even dropped off and said, hey, there's going to be more things coming from here on, things that they don't have quite figured out, but they're going to be on their way when it's figured out, like intercooler brackets and little miscellaneous things. Which they did send that stuff. We had a couple intercoolers to try. The first intercooler that wasn't supposed to work is actually the one that ended up going on and working. The other one wouldn't fit as nice as the original one that we had. The manifolds, turbos, all that bolted on fine. All the charge piping, all that went on fine. Actually really great fitment. The intake tubing, like you can see here, this was all one tube all the way down to the turbo, and just the way it has so many different bends made it really difficult to install with it being one piece. Awesome that's one piece, because I mean it just looks cleaner, but ultimately it proved to, I was just not getting it in, because there's also a flange. It's hard to see, but there's a flange that bolts to the car down there. It hard mounts, and that every which way I was trying to get it, it was hitting this or hitting this, and I couldn't get it just clocked correctly to get in there. Both sides. I had like all the accessories off, the AC compressor, the water pump, everything off on that side, trying to get it in. Eventually I just made a judgment call, and I did 2 clean cuts on a straight section on each side, and went right in, added the coupler. So
just that little bit of tolerance that you needed to get it all.
Yeah, that solved the issue, and they go in seconds now. They're easy. Another surprise was the battery. Obviously, we got a intake pipe running through here now. So. And
this side had the same issue as the other side, as far as you had to cut the pipe.
Yeah, I cut this one as well. Yeah. This one is the one I was really fighting with.
Okay.
This one looked like I had some hope with it, and after a few minutes I said, we're just going to do the same thing. So the battery was something we had to figure out. 2 options: get a smaller battery up there or relocate it to the trunk. Customer wasn't aware of this either, so
in terms of cost, this is still the most cost-effective solution to something like that. Well, I mean, like,
I guess it depends on if
you're paying somebody to do it,
and stuff. It's a lighter weight option.
Yeah, that is true. You did lose some weight.
Yeah, I mean, this is the option that I would go with, and it's the option that I had suggested to him as well, for both cost and even with the fab work of doing this. It ended up being cheaper for him and saving a little bit of weight. And honestly, it looks at home in there. Everything went right back up to it in the same spots. I had to like reroute one power wire to here. That was it. So.
Oh, so you didn't have to mess with the actual terminals or anything like that?
No, terminals went on.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was easy.
And there's room for the catch can and everything.
Yeah. No, it worked out nice.
If you do a catch can, which you should, but
I mean, overall, there was definitely some small hurdles that we had to overcome with the kit. We had to figure out. John at Huron, I was in pretty constant contact with him. Not about everything, because some of it we just talked to the customer and opted to figure out in-house and just kind of expedite it. That way there's not, you know, the back and forth of trying things. And it comes down to, you know, if we do get, like we had to rework the downpipes a little bit. If we get ones and they don't work again, then the customer ends up coming out more labor for us to try it. Yeah, they could just work right away, but I mean, for the
if you're taking the
time
chance
into it, we can just fix them in-house and be done with it and move to the next step.
Right.
So there were some things that I didn't bother contacting them about. Everything we did contact them about, John always replies insanely fast. Anything he had to ship us was from Michigan, but it was always here in like 2 days.
Right. Which
was pretty quick too, so he must be expediting that. Very, very helpful through email, but definitely some things that we just figured out ourselves.
And we've done plenty of turbo kit installs.
Yeah.
None of them, no matter what manufacturer or brand, have gone on without us having to modify something to our...
None of them were just, wow, there was no surprises on that. We didn't have to do anything but bolt it all together. None of them.
And it's not even stuff that's like, you know, sometimes it's just stuff we just don't like.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's like, hey, this is a small improvement, like this. Maybe there's a way to get those pipes in, and I didn't have to cut them, but it made it so much easier without any real downside. Yeah. Why not?
Exactly.
So yeah, little small improvements, and we have a fairly good relationship with Huron Speed, so I'll tell them, hey, these are the things that I've come across. Small changes here and there, nothing really that major. I mean,
constructive criticism.
Yeah, the hardest part's like getting the manifolds right and the turbos where they're supposed to be without hitting everything. That was good. So it's just the little bits that make it a complete user-friendly kit, which we're a shop, not a huge deal, but for the people in their garage doing this, like they can't just whip out the TIG welder and start cutting pipes and putting in place.
And we've had people comment on the video and ask you know, certain questions about this kit because they're in that exact position. They're like, I have a GTO, I want to put this twin turbo kit on, that kind of thing. I think that's one of the main reasons we do these videos. It's just informational. It's just like, okay, you know, I mean, we don't give away all the tricks of the trade, but we do give useful information that can save you hours and hours of work. You know,
those pipes, I bet there's some people that have fought with them, and cut them where they're straight, goes right in. Yeah, I mean, overall it's a solid kit. It just needs a little more refinement, like any first to production kit of any kind in any industry it's gonna need some little refinements.
Particularly turbo kits. Because there's a lot of things going on with
turbo kits. A lot of pipes that all have to meet each other, not perfectly, but pretty good to work.
Yeah. All things said and done, though, this is a pretty sweet car. It's a very low mileage, very clean GTO.
Yeah, 20,000 mile.
It's dead quiet, and it makes 550 wheel, which is 575 wheel. But no, this is cool. It's been a while since I've seen a stock GTO, and you know.
Ooh, even this kind of follows this nicely, like a stock intake. I'm just gonna trim this right here to get it to sit flat.
Yeah, and that's you know,
you're modifying a car.
Right.
You might have to trim a thing or two.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is just the name of the game.
Cool. Well, I guess that concludes this build.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
Get the old air saw out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the old eyeballs on that.
When people hear eyeball, they think bad things, but when I hear eyeball, I think from Brian, within plus or minus 5,000 of an inch. So.